What makes relationships last?
Our relationship has had its ups and downs, but what we've found is good communication holds everything together.
We decided to dedicate time every week to not only strengthen our relationship, but stimulate personal growth.
Strong relationships are built on strong communication.
Welcome to Date Night Conversations.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Date Night Conversations. I'm Chantel.
And I'm Greg.
And in this video, we're going to ask each other 3 questions we have never asked each other before.
Say it every time, guys. I so look forward to these questions. I look forward to Date Night Conversations because it just makes me think on a deeper level.
It really does. It really does make you think. And guys, we have no idea what the question is. So we actually get excited to do these episodes every week.
Yeah.
And you guys probably already know too that sometimes these conversations lead us into conversations, into other conversations, and you just keep spiraling out of control. It's actually kind of fun.
And guys, we love the interaction. We look forward to your comments every time, so let us know your response to these questions.
Yeah, you guys already know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right, you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right, first question, you're up.
Okay. Question number 1. If you could visit any place in the world, where would it be and why?
It's a nice one. Okay, so this is where it would be and why. It would totally be, right now, somewhere like Bora Bora or Bali or somewhere in the Maldives, just because I just want to visit that side of the world. And those are countries where I feel like my soul is destined to meet. Like, I just want to relax there. I want to read books. I want to be in warmth. I want to spend time with my partner. And that, in those places, it's just a place like I really need to be. It's just my soul needs that right now. That's where I would go.
I know you would too.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could visit any place in the world, where would it be and why?
They'd be right with me.
Well, of course. I'm trying to think if there's any other place that I'd really like to go. Like something that stands out. Like, man, we absolutely have to go here. I just want to experience someplace, some part of the world that I haven't before.
Would you like to go to Greece?
Yeah, but that's not at the top of my list.
Is Bora Bora?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Bora Bora, Maldives.
So you knew you were going to agree with me 100%, and you had to analytically
I have Hawaii on my
think
list
about that
also.
for so long.
There's
Hawaii's
something with
nice, huh?
Hawaii that I'd like to experience. I think I'd like to, I don't know.
Okay, but Bora Bora's at the top.
Yeah, but then there's other countries where I just want to experience that culture and be in that environment.
Okay, but which one do you want to go to first? You'll get to all of them, but which one are you going to first? The relaxing one. You're gonna go to Bora Bora.
Go somewhere
Okay.
that's like amazing and see. I've never been in the ocean. To see that
Me neither.
like crystal clear water.
Oh, actually, I have. I've been to
Yeah.
the Bahamas. Yeah. Forgot for a second, but I totally know that feeling. It's been so long for me anyway, so I would love to be there again.
I've only seen pictures and I create what I imagine it could be like. I have no idea. Well, they look like they're having fun. I want to experience that.
You're so funny.
Well, how was the Bahamas?
It was beautiful.
See?
It was beautiful.
So people who have been there have given me this kind of feedback. I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to experience that. I've never experienced... Florida's as far south as I've been.
Wow. So guys, I've been on a cruise before, and it was like years ago. I was in high school, and it took me to Bahamas, Puerto Rico, Grand Turk and Caicos.
Is it Turks?
I don't know, Grand Turks. It took us to Grand Turks, and then it took us to St. Thomas. And the plane flew us over to Miami first, and we boarded the boat in Miami. And Miami was beautiful. Like, I can still remember. I'm like, well, that's Miami. Wow, okay.
It's in Disney World. Orlando.
What?
I remember, yeah, that kind of stuff. Disney World, Cape Canaveral. If I was close to the ocean, it was just very rocky. That's what I remember.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I don't remember a beach, like soft sand.
Mine was soft
being in
sand.
water,
Oh my gosh. Like, you know how I won't get into cold water? This water I can run into. It's so warm. it's amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like a bath. I'm like, nah, this is too good to be true. Slip in the sand, like it's just nice white sand. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
I've never experienced that.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah, I try. I don't know. I would like to experience it. Yes,
well, you
I'm
will
relaxing,
one day.
warm. I'm gonna get sunburned, so I gotta hide in the shade.
You'll experience it one day for sure.
All right.
All
so,
right.
you could, guys, it's your turn. You can reread the question.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
All right, guys. If you could visit any place in the world, where would it be and why? All right, guys, you know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right, we're moving on to question number 2.
This one's yours.
Okay. All right. What was your biggest culture shock?
Biggest culture shock? What's a culture shock?
I don't know how to give you an example.
Culture shock is a sense of anxiety, depression, or confusion that results from being cut off from your familiar culture, environment, and norms when living in a foreign country or society. People experiencing culture shock go through distinct phases of euphoria, discomfort, adjustment, acceptance. Culture shock. Being cut off from your familiar culture.
Oh, there's something like the biggest. So have you gone anywhere? And they don't do the same things you do here?
I feel like I've been able to acclimate to any situation that I've been in related to that. I haven't gone to a place on Earth where the culture is so vastly different that, or even like having friends like that have different backgrounds and it's just different. It's not culture shock. So I don't know. Like I was thinking when I went back to school and I was like one of the oldest ones in college, like in my class, but I wasn't. There was still other people there my age.
Right.
And so like there's still a blending of, even though you're with a different culture, it's not so vastly different that it's like...
Oh, I know one for me. So I was in my second year of nursing school and I was doing my placement in a hospital in Scarborough, and I had a patient who was from Chinese descent and she just had a baby, and it was her second baby boy, and I brought her some cloth to like have a bed bath and clean up herself, and I asked would she like to get in the shower, and she says she doesn't. They like, in that culture, they don't wash themselves after having the baby and deprive themselves from like the body, like the water and stuff. I think I told you that when I was in... No, you weren't there. You weren't in my life then. But yeah, she didn't shower because you have to keep your body in a state for, I think it's 7 days. Don't quote me on it.
What?
Exactly.
Did you Google this?
I swear to God. I'll Google it right now because I really want to explain it properly. It's been so long. But I wrote a paper about it because it was the biggest culture shock.
Oh my goodness.
It was the
Did
biggest
you seriously write a
culture
paper
shock.
about this?
I can't talk.
Culture shock.
It was the biggest culture shock.
It's not a tongue twister.
It was for me as a sock. The biggest culture shock. It was my biggest culture shock.
You seriously wrote a paper?
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, maybe this lady just wasn't comfortable with you being present. She'd just deal with it later. Or
Here
something.
it is. Guys, I found it. Okay, so it's for Chinese moms, birth 30 days in pajamas, and she was in her pajamas. She stayed in her pajamas.
30 days in pajamas?
Yeah, so that even means that new mothers are hand washed by 2 nurses to wipe them down with washcloths, steeped by Chinese medicine about once a week. They're not supposed to bathe for 30 days following childbirth. But the strictures of traditional confinement are being bent to needs of the modern woman, like in today's age. So back
so
then...
she was doing her best to actually follow that tradition.
That's what it's called, the Zhao Yu Z restriction. That's what it is.
Oh man, I had never heard of that before. I learned something new today.
Yeah.
So it was just that
so
she
yeah,
was still a person practicing that tradition.
Exactly. So it's like they don't deprive their bodies of like the nutrients or hormones after giving childbirth, like no infections, things like that. It keeps you healthier, it keeps your body in a state of equilibrium. That was my belief. And if you do that, then...
So she still gets bathed.
Well, that's why I was saying I remember bringing washcloths. So she did, like, she'll wipe herself down, but she won't take a shower. Yeah. So that was big to me because I know people in the hospital, at least all the patients I had that year, they take a shower. They may not take it in the hospital. And if she had told me that, I would have let it go. But she's like, you know what, in my culture, and she taught me something. And I'm like, oh,
interesting.
That's so interesting.
That's okay. Culture shock. That totally
fits.
I guess. Well, you learned something new.
I totally did.
But you.
That's as close as I can get.
Okay, fair. So what would it be for me? Do you think I've had one?
That's okay.
Man, I'd like to think of one, like one that I've actually experienced. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. Because you can even be going into a new work environment, and it's the culture of that workspace.
Right.
And I'm trying to think of it from that perspective also.
Here, what about dating a black woman? Was there any culture shock for you? That there's something certain you do?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sure there is.
I don't even think of these things as culture shock.
But like saying good evening, good afternoon.
West Indian families, was definitely different from the way I was raised.
Right.
I don't know if that was culture shock. It's just because I thought different parenting. I looked at it that way.
Okay.
I know the friends' parents would be all a little different, right? And then so West Indian parents, they're just different in this way.
Okay. And that's all it was to you?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I consider it culture shock at all.
Okay.
My goodness. It might have been, no, even that's not that. I was gonna say like going to, when I had been at Extreme Fitness for so long, so I would have been leaving that job and working in the private gym for the first time and being in that environment. That was significantly different.
Okay.
As far as the industry goes, it was I didn't realize that what I was in at my gym, even though I know so many people and there's a huge network, we're all, I'm going to say, the way these people in this area, in this gym setting, like that major gym chain, we all have that kind of background. It created a different culture as far as like fitness and nutrition and everything goes. Then I went to Toronto and worked in like a private facility. And it's like small, like more intimate setting, more of a personal training. It's called a personal training gym. It's like a gym, but really does.
I see where you're going, yeah.
The way the trainers train people, like it was completely different from what I was used to. And I learned so much just from being in that setting for the time that I was there. Because the things are just done differently and there's a reason behind all of it. And I think that's, as far as personal training goes, that's an experience you should have, so that the amount, you know so much, when you know so much with the people that are around you, and when you go to a completely different setting and sit there, and they've just come up from a different aspect, and they have, man, like that just expanded my mind so much farther, being in that situation. And so I am definitely a better trainer for having done that.
Okay, fair.
So I'm going to say that one. I think that scenario. So I had just been in one place for so long that just going into that different environment was a completely different. Okay. That's the closest to culture shock I think I can come.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, guys. Your turn.
Yes. Your guys' turn. I'll read the question one more time. What was your biggest culture shock? All right, guys. You know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right, we're moving on to the final question.
All right.
So sad. Give her too quick.
Last question. If you met your hero, what question would you ask? If you met your hero, what question would you ask? Who's your hero?
That's exactly. I'm trying to establish what's that. Like, who is that?
Your hero? And that is not something I have ever thought of. Ever.
Me neither, so I have to think of someone I idolize.
Who would you, if you actually met them, say, man, you're my hero? Do you have one of those?
I don't think so. But I'm gonna say
them your hero?
No, I'm not gonna say like my hero, but I'll say someone that I idolize maybe.
If you met your hero, what question would you ask? Oh my gosh.
Like, who
now
is
I have
that?
to pick a hero. Who's your hero?
Can we just like put it as like our motivational person?
Sure.
Okay. Who would that be for you?
Oh.
I can't. Okay, so I'm gonna relate it. Sorry, I'm gonna relate it to a question that was already asked similarly in another video, and it was like someone that I would like to meet. I said would be Bruce Lee. So he would be someone I look at as my hero, quote unquote, just because of the teachings, the inspirational aspect, and like the level of like self-help maybe he'll be able to provide me with. Yeah. So what question would I ask is that what it asks? What question?
Wow, yeah. Because even if I think of a hero, I don't know what question I would ask.
I would say like the question I would ask, I think right now, is tell me about your mindset. Like, tell me about your beliefs. And then it will dive deeper into things. So like, okay, so you look at things like this. Like, how do you feel about, like, I think that's where it would start. It would start with like a little bit about mindsets.
What question would you ask?
I would ask,
what's your mindset?
Yeah, I'd say what's your mindset like? Like, what do you think about this? Like, what's your thought about success? Like, I would ask that. Happiness. Like, I think I
want to hear the question. What is the question you would ask?
My question would be...
You have one question.
What would it be?
Yes.
What's your thoughts on success?
What's your thoughts on success?
Yeah. Because it can lead to so many different avenues. It's going to definitely give you an idea of who he is personally, like on a personal level, talking to him like that.
Yeah, but do you think you'd be surprised by that answer? Or do you think you know what he's going to say?
I don't know what he's going to say. Absolutely.
You really don't know?
No. I don't know what he's going to say. That's why I'm asking. I just ask him to teach me. Teach me.
What question would you ask?
Okay, so you want to meet the Elon Musk.
Elon Musk?
Was it Tesla? Oh no, it was an engineer, the guy that created electricity, I think.
Nikola Tesla. But I think of somebody who's alive.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know if I could say like my hero. You know what's funny? Because I'm thinking if I was talking to somebody like The Rock or Elon Musk, because I think in their own rights they have their own, like where you're kind of going with this. Well, I'm thinking mindset. Isn't that where you started with?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it brought you around to success.
Because you're like, you wanted me to get a little bit more
But it's so
specific.
funny because now that I'm thinking of a person, I'm like, I want to get an idea of their mindset. Like, what's their focus? So, to ask my hero, if you ever met your hero, what question would you ask? Oh, so I don't even have to give an actual one.
Yeah.
So, if you met your hero, what question would you ask?
Yeah.
It would kind of be like what drives you. I want to sort of understand what the focus is, like where they're...
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's your focus?
Yeah. It would be such an interesting conversation and you'd love it. You'd be so inspired and motivated. Because I'm sure they're going to tell you something that's repetition of what you already know and something that's like, wow, I can't believe he said that. I didn't look at it from that way. Like everybody will have something just a little bit different to add to your level of growth and the way you think. And that's why successful people are where they are, because they did it like the same way consistently, but different mindsets to get to where they were going. All similar, but just in their own way. That's all I'm saying. And I think it'd be interesting to know what anyone on that levels is. So I can see where you're coming from with that, for sure. The mindset, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, guys. we're throwing it over to you. Let's read the question one more time. If you met your hero, what question would you ask? All right, guys, tell us who your hero is and the question you would ask. All right, guys, you know what to do. Drop a comment down below.
I went to a Sikh wedding and wore a turban.
Why didn't you say that?
I didn't feel it was culture shock. I fit right in.
No, you didn't. This white woman, I would never forget the way she looked at you.
At the
Loblaws.
Oh, at the Loblaws. Can we throw this in as an after one? Okay, so culture shock. My friend is Sikh, and I have a friend through him, so it's like a friend of a friend, and I was invited to his sister's wedding.
And this is like one of our first formal dates.
Yeah, it really
together.
was.
So we were still kind of new
to this wedding. How new? It was new.
Well, it was new. It happened. So we got together. We were almost together for a year because we were at the apartment.
Okay.
So it was March. I remember it was March of 2013.
Wow. Okay. So they asked me to wear a turban when I went to this wedding. Or they asked me if I would mind wearing a turban. And I'm like, yeah, as long as it's respectful. I don't want it to ever come across that I'm being disrespectful. So the uncles, they're like, you'll wear a turban? And they're like excited for me to, I'm like, okay, it's like respectful. And they're like appreciative of it. So sure, I'll wear a turban, I don't mind. I had to go early that day and get
it
wrapped. So went to my friend's house and they had a cousin over and he put the turban on for me. And then it was still hours before the actual wedding. It was like early afternoon.
Yeah, but you're wearing it all day.
And I wore it all day, yeah. So I'm going to the grocery store and stuff.
And I will never forget.
Turban and a beard.
And guys, we're going to show you a picture because we have pictures. But I remember he went to pick up a card at Superstore just kind of behind the apartment we lived at. And I'm like, okay, you go run in and get it. And I was in heels, so you're like, I'll just run in and get it. And then he was walking, and this lady walked past him, and she had to think to herself, did I just see what I just saw? It took that moment and that statement, and then turned around to look. And then she's like, yep. And then she kept walking.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what it looked like. So you guys could totally see that.
It's funny.
I thought it was awesome. And you wore it proudly. You're a boss.
Yeah. When you know more about the culture and the respect you get from the culture wearing it.
And then you went on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And you
but I got so many.
I
had people getting their picture taken with me. All the uncles wanted their.
Yeah, and say, man, the turban
so
looks
proud.
good.
Yeah,
it's wrapped
people were coming
good.
up and complimenting me all night.
Yeah, it was awesome. You're the man. That's so wicked. I'm proud of you.
The Sikh wedding, that was a bit of a culture shock. My cousin, it was a Hindu wedding.
Oh, okay.
And that was different. But at the same time, I didn't feel like, I just thought I'm experiencing something new for the first time. It wasn't like a shock. I just thought it was interesting.
Okay. That's awesome. I I'm so proud of you. I think you rocked that really well.
Okay.
You guys gotta let us know what you think. Post the pictures. Alright guys, we're looking forward to interacting with you.
Yeah guys, leave a comment down below. Let us know your responses to these questions.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye!